Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, we are going to see a side-by-side comparison of the characteristics of the fiber types in the skeletal muscles. Let's begin. There are several ways of classifying the muscle fibers, but learning about these classes will be easier if you pay attention to just two functional characteristics. Number one, the speed of contraction. On the basis of the speed or velocity of the fiber shortening, there are slow fibers and fast fibers. The difference reflects how fast their myosin ATPases split ATP and the pattern of electrical activity of their motor neurons. Contraction duration also varies with the fiber type and depends on how quickly calcium ions move from the cytosol into the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Number two, pathway for ATP production. The cells that rely mostly on the oxygen using aerobic pathways for ATP generation are oxidative fibers. Those that rely more on anaerobic glycolysis and creatine phosphate are glycolytic fibers. Using these two criteria, we can classify skeletal muscles as slow oxidative fibers, fast oxidative fibers, or fast glycolytic fibers. Up next, I am going to give details about each group. But a word to the wise. Do not approach this information by rote memorization. You will get frustrated. Instead, start with what you know for any category and see how the characteristics listed support that. First of all, start thinking about a slow oxidative fiber. We can see that it contracts slowly because its myosin ATPases are slow. It depends on oxygen delivery and aerobic pathways for forming ATP give it a high oxidative capacity. It resists fatigue and has high endurance. It is thin and has relatively little power. This one has many mitochondria, which are actual sites of oxygen use. It has a rich capillary supply to deliver blood-borne oxygen. It has an abundant supply of myoglobin that stores oxygen reserves in the cell. Add these features together and you have a muscle fiber best suited to endurance type activities. Now let's look at a fast glycolytic fiber. In contrast, it contracts rapidly due to the activity of fast myosin ATPases. It uses little oxygen. This one depends on plentiful glycogen reserves for fuel rather than on blood delivered nutrients. This type tires quickly because glycogen stores are short lived, making it a fatigable fiber. Has a relatively large diameter, indicating the plentiful myofilaments that allow it to contract powerfully before it sort of goes out. has few mitochondria, little myoglobin, and few capillaries. For these reasons, a fast glycolytic fiber is best suited for short term, rapid, and intense movements. Finally, consider the less common intermediate fiber type called fast oxidative fibers. They have many characteristics intermediate between the other two types. Fiber diameter and power, for example. Like fast glycolytic fibers, they contract quickly, but like slow oxidative fibers, they are oxygen dependent and have a rich supply of myoglobin and capillaries. Some muscles have a predominance of one fiber type, but most contain a mixture of fiber types, which gives them a range of contractile speeds and fatigue resistance. The predominant fiber type in a muscle is determined by the primary function of the muscle. But as might be expected, all muscle fibers in a particular motor unit are of the same type. Although everyone's muscles contain mixture of these fiber types, some people have relatively more of one kind. These differences are genetically initiated but can be modified by exercise and no doubt determine the athletic capabilities such as endurance versus strength to a large extent. For example, muscles of marathon runners have a high percentage of slow oxidative fibers, about 80%, while those of sprinters contain a higher percentage, about 60% of fast oxidative and glycolytic fibers. Interconversion between the fast fiber types occurs as a result of specific exercise regimes. Thanks for watching and listening. Do share this video with your friends and colleagues. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel for watching more videos.